I'm here with Brian Barcelona. You are the founder of One Voice Student Missions, and you're the author of this wonderful book called The Jesus Club. You know, you've started kind of a movement called the Jesus Club throughout schools all over the U.S., but you have a great story about how this dream came to be reality. Tell us about that day when this dream was birthed inside of you.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Northern California, and I got saved from being an atheist at a local church there. And then they had a conference they took me to shortly after, and it was at this conference in Santa Cruz, California. There was this huge white tent, maybe about 1,000 kids. They were worshiping, you know, praising, and incredible messages by different speakers. And during one of the worship times, as it was going on, I decided I wanted to get alone, so I went to the back of this tent. I had been saved maybe a year and a half, maybe. I went to the back of this tent, and as I was in the back of this tent, I was praying, and everything started quieting around me, and all of a sudden I hear this voice speak to me, and as this voice spoke so clearly, it said, "Brian, I'm gonna save the high schools of America, and I wanna partner with your life to do it." And I just started weeping. I'm thinking to myself, man, you got the wrong guy.
That's a little daunting task, isn't it?
Yes, like, this is crazy. I'm like, I can't even clean my room yet. Like, you know, I was 18 years old, and the Lord's speaking this, and all of a sudden the Lord says, you know, what will come through this movement will be the restoration of prayer to schools in this nation. Had no idea at that time of the court cases in the 60s that removed God from public schools in America. And the Lord said, you know, so goes California, so goes a nation. And that was what I heard him say. And so when everything came back, I was just weeping. I went and told my buddy, and he didn't quite know what to do with it. He's kind of like, well, stay in church, you know, and get discipled. And I'm like, well, thanks. And that was the beginning of my journey of first getting a call to reach high schools.
So what do you do with that? This is not, I want you to learn to clean your room better, Brian.
Yeah.
This is a task that is fairly daunting. This is a huge deal. How long did it take you to process this? I mean, did you go, oh, I hear you, let's start today? Like, that's got to be a little bit of a process to understanding, what is God really asking of me?
Yeah. You know, in my walk with God, I've kind of feel like whenever He gives me something, it's like a pack of seeds. You know, when you buy a pack of seeds, you always see the finished product. And then you open it up, it's like these little rocks inside.
Right.
It's kind of what I felt happen that day. And the Lord didn't tell me after that really what to do. So I just went to my old high school that I graduated from. I said, well, I have open doors there, and I'm not going to wait, you know, another 10 years till God says something. He already told me to do this. So went to my old school. In my first meeting, there was 3 students, and I'm kind of like, God, this is not America. You told me America would be schools to be saved. This is 3 students, and that's where we began in that classroom in a back portable in Elk Grove.
So here you are with this huge task, this huge vision. Obviously, you've got zeal and passion for this. What did you feel like going to your first meeting? Going, this is going to be the start of something. Did you have fear? Were you anxious? Or what were you feeling as you went to do this?
Yeah, you know, I never foreseen anything we would do as growing or as being as large. It was kind of like, I've never seen growing up a Bible club of more than 15, 20 kids in a public school.
Right.
So my grid for it was, well, you know, if we get like 15, 20, praise God, we're saving the world.
Right.
So there wasn't any disappointment that I was set up for, because I didn't know what to expect. But when we went in that first year, we seen that club grew about 35 students. I thought, man, this is as best as it's ever going to get. We were seeing a classroom filled, on and off, you know, but still, classroom was getting filled. It wasn't until the next year where we seen that a Bible club grow from 6 kids to 600. Wow. That was when we knew this is not normal. Like, God is doing something incredible. And what we witnessed that next year was just phenomenal. And it's literally what's kept me going on 8 years now.
You should not be able to do what you're doing. You got this vision, and you were given this dream by God. Explain a little bit about how the growth has happened. It seems almost unreal, doesn't it?
You know, from our first year to our second year, so my first year I was on one school, averaging maybe, let's just say, be conservative, 15 to 30 students a week. The next year we were averaging around 2,000 kids a week. I'd gotten to about 6 campuses in my city. There's only 9 of them. I got into all, into 6 of them with clubs averaging 300 to 500 students each club, the largest being around almost 600 a week.
Wow.
Which was a school in Elk Grove. And, you know, back then we weren't ready for any of this growth. I would have been happy with 60. Right. But when I remember the day I went home and we counted, there was 600 students at a club. I was I think I was 19 years old, about to be 20.
Wow.
I had no clue what was going on, but I just knew God was moving. And now, being in Los Angeles, we have an incredible team and staff, and they've developed an entire model for retraining churches how to get into schools. So I believe right now we're in around 70 campuses, reaching 70 schools, averaging around 10,000 a week inside of public high schools, all throughout Los Angeles and different parts of the U.S. as well.
Wow. So now you're dealing with again, you're not faking this. You're calling it the Jesus Club. They're not coming and going, what's this about?
Yeah.
So it's overtly a Jesus Club. It's overtly Christian. You're going to talk to them about that. What are these kids coming to you with barriers? What would their reason be for not coming there? Or what are they struggling with? How is that interaction happening with these brand new kids seeking out a Jesus Club?
You know, I think the biggest misconception, at least in the States with the church, is that students don't want Jesus. I can show you picture after picture, video after video of, you know, thousands of kids who are coming to hear about Jesus. The problem is, I think, we're living in a time and in a culture and in a generation where they're not going to church as they used to.
Right.
If we're real honest, we could see the numbers decreasing every single year, the amount of kids that fill our youth groups. And even if we have a youth group of 200, let's look at how many kids are in our city. Mm-hmm. It'll be the greatest humbling stick of every pastor.
Sure it will.
So what we've realized is we must not wait for them to come to us to hear the gospel. We must bring the gospel to where they are. And high schools, in my opinion, is the only mission field on the planet where you know what time the harvest gets there, you know what time they eat, you know what time they leave, and you have easy access to them for 4 years. And so if we're able to go in and reach them with the gospel where they're at, we can truly see an impact on them.
Thank you for obeying the call. You got a direct call and you took it seriously, and in faith you ran and you started the Jesus Club. This has been Brian Barcelona. I'm so grateful that you were here. Thank you for telling us your story. Yeah. If you want more information either about the Jesus Club, the book, or about his ministry, go to, what is the website again?
OneVoiceStudentMissions.com.
OneVoiceStudentMissions.com. Your life will be changed and challenged forever.